Hello, people of the internet. I thought I'd do a quick video on how to hem your pants, jeans, or anything that's just too long, because if you're petite sized like me, having all that fabric dragged behind you is unprofessional. It can get stuck on things, it gets dirty, it gets ratty. It has to be taken care of. So here's just a basic overview of how to do a little bit of sewing, just the littlest bit, and it could save you like 14 bucks instead of going down to the tailor, unless they charge more in your city. Okay, the first thing that you will need is your pants, some type of measuring device, safety pins, push pin, any kind of pin to hold in your fabric in place. Because I'm so short, you put your pants on inside out. You fold them over. You take off your pants, you measure it, and then you go all the way around to make sure that it's the same width throughout. Because I'm so short, this is 4.5 inches. And so every time I put a pin in, I measured. Now you should probably iron this edge, but I don't feel like setting it up. So if you just make sure it's really straight and flat with your hand, the fabric is soft enough where this works so that throughout the entire thing, it's still 4.5 inches no matter what. I just put the pins in straight. For different jean fabrics, you can use regular sewing thread, but I have chosen to use this quilting thread. It's a little bit thicker. Feels more like rope. It looks like regular thread, but trust me, it's thicker. It feels rougher. It can hold more weight because thinner threads just don't necessarily hold weight the same. And this keeps pulling and dragging. And yeah, if you spread out the stitches, it helps, but I just prefer the strong stuff for this project. Now, any type of normal sewing needle is fine. Just try to pick the normal size, because if you go too big, you're putting holes in your fabric, and that's never a good thing in general. But just try to get the most normal size eye and hook. Don't go for tapestry needles. Don't go for like yarn or thicker fiber needles. Just regular small ones work the best, in my opinion. Now, the only other thing I can think of when it comes to setting this up correctly, the side seams on your pants. Make sure that they stay straight with how your pins are set up, because that will matter. Now, let me get this thing reorganized. Okay, here we go. I have it folded over. We're at 4.5 inches exactly. We take a pin. I gotta make sure that these seams are lined up, as I said before, because I'm right-handed. We take the left hand, we pull this up. Make sure you only go down 2 layers and don't accidentally sew like all 4 layers of the fabric together. Now this will be your guiding point as you go around, because it's a process to try and keep that 4.5 inches. Just keep everything well stretched, instead of like using an iron and doing it the right way, as my mother would say it. It's like, I don't want to, so you can't make me. There we go. So far, so good. Now we just do this all the way around. Okay, now we have to put a knot in the end of our thread, at least a big enough one that it won't go through the fabric. I was taught that you lick it, for all you rollers out there. You pinch it between your fingers, you wrap it 2 or 3 times around, and then you just kind of twist it down your finger like this. You just take your nail and pull, and it should make a lovely little knot of some kind. They also have little things that can thread your needle, but again, my mother just said lick it and shove it through, so that's what I'm still used to. Now to do the actual hem stitch itself. You just want to take the littlest bit of an edge here and then go all the way up, because you want the outside stitches where the public can see it to be very, very small. There. Then you go over like 1/2 inch-ish. You try to keep them as straight as possible. Just take up a little bit, like 2 or 3 millimeters. If you want to know how long a millimeter is, on the back side of these tapes, these are centimeters, and the little lines, those are millimeters. So if you separate your stitches like between 1/2 to a whole centimeter, either one is fine. Because you don't want them too close together, but at the same time, if they're too far apart, that's not that good either. All right, then you pick up 2 or 3 centimeters of fabric and then go straight up. That makes sense. Yes, you want this long piece of thread here. That's what's holding the line essentially. And we go over, we pick up the littlest bit of fabric, we go straight up. You see that long of thread. I think the other name for this might be called the blanket stitch, but I think my mom called it the running stitch, or just a generic hemming stitch. You put a little up, you go straight. This is what you do all the way around, provided your thread doesn't come off the needle. What I like about quilting thread, it's so tough. The end doesn't splinter very much. You lick it, you shove it through. That sounded dirty. That's not, I only meant it in the cleanest way possible. Try to keep them well aligned. Take up a little, push straight up. And just having a small sewing kit around is what, it can save you quite a bit of money as time goes on, whether it's split seams or just hemming. Like I said, for jeans, I definitely suggest finding something called quilter's thread. I'm sure a quick Google search can find it for you. It's thicker, it's stronger. It still works with regular needles. And it works good on jeans. It's just specifically jeans. And then on the outside, you see all these little dot thingies. But then as time goes on, they shake out and you don't really see anything. If your thread snarls, just pull on it. It's just loops and sides of loops that got confused. There we go. They say patience is a virtue, I'm told. Alright, let's see. Take a little bit there, go straight up. Alright, I'm going to work on this and get back to you. Okay, I thought this would be a good time to show you how to end it, or what you should do in case you do not guess correctly for how much thread you will need. Because I don't have that little bit left, but I still need more to finish the rest of the leg. So here you have your lovely stitches. You're going along. You find yourself short, literally. So then you just go, you pick it up again, like go through the exact same place you just were. You make this loop. And then you go underneath it to make that type of a stitch. Then, as far as this one goes, You do it again. You do it 2 or 3 times, sometimes 4 if you're really obsessive. Try to make sure it's not too twisted. You go under the loop, pull it through, and just yank on it a little bit, and then cut it, start all over again. That's it. You really can't see all the little stitches, but they are there. That's what the straight leg looks like. You can almost see the line of it, but when it's hanging down, you really can't see where you put in the seam. No one notices. See how small? But yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like when you are done. Congratulations.